What's up, everybody? JVille Sports here with my sports picks video. It is Friday, September the 18th. Thank you guys so much for joining me today and each and every time I put out a video. As you can see behind me, we got the football spinning. This is the college football edition of my sports picks video. For those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. For those of you that are new to the community, welcome. We are growing each and every day. The village is alive and increasing in numbers each and every day. So like I mentioned, this is going to be all about college football. So for those of you that are new to the channel, I like to do a little bit something with each sport. With college football and college basketball, great news in college basketball. We finally got a date for when the season is going to begin. College basketball is my favorite sport. Love college basketball. It is going to be kicking off right before Thanksgiving. I should say tipping off November 25th. So that's exciting news. Another sport we'll be able to add to the mix in a couple months or so. But as far as college football goes, I like to do what's called a long shot parlay. So each and every week, I'll give out a long shot parlay. These are games, not necessarily my best bets, but these are games that I have strong leans on. Some of them I do end up playing, some of them I don't. But I like to give out, there's so many college football games, not as much this year, but normally there's a ton of college football games. Same with college basketball. On Saturdays, there are a ton of college basketball games. So I don't like to make a video and just give out one play. So instead, I like to do something fun. I put together a bunch of plays that I like and throw them together into a parlay. Call it my long shot parlay. Typically, it's a parlay where the payout is $10,000 or more. Because of the reduced amount of games, I'm cutting that down to $5,000 or more this year. So we'll go ahead and recap our first attempt last week, and then we'll go ahead and give out our second attempt this week. Hopefully, we hit this bad boy a couple times this year, but that is what we do with college football. And of course, towards the end of the video, I'll give out one straight bet for those of you who don't like to do parlays. And of course, the long shot parlay is really just for me, a fun way for me to have some fun. I throw together a bunch of games that I like into a parlay. I don't necessarily think you guys should throw it in unless you want to get crazy with me. If you have some extra funds in your bankroll. But long shot parlays are not the way you want to build your bankroll. There's something you want to do on the side, have some fun, try to get lucky. Because I definitely hit some big parlays multiple times throughout the year, but it's not my main way of building my bankroll. But like I said, it's more of my way of giving you guys a bunch of plays instead of just one play. So that is a long shot parlay, and let's go ahead and just get right into it. So we'll recap what we did last week. We had a very, very good first attempt. I'll throw it up on the screen here. So we had 6 plays and we went 4-2. Our first 4 plays actually came through. So we were looking really good, and then UTSA and Texas State tipped off, and that was just a complete joke. No defense in that game, and it even went to overtime. So it just completely obliterated that under. That was a bad play. Western Kentucky, I thought they would keep it close against Louisville. Their offense just did not show up. Neither did their defense. Louisville looked really good. But we had Louisiana plus 11.5. They were an outright winner. We had Charlotte plus 17. They played a great game against UCF, kept that game close. Had some chances there to pull out the victory, but they just couldn't get the job done. Duke Notre Dame under 53, that was an easy winner. Georgia Tech Florida State under 52 was another easy under. Then like I said, we had the 2 losses there. So we went 4-2. So that is 67% to start off the season with our long shot record. If you did straight bets, you come out ahead. If you did maybe a 2-team parlay, 3-team parlay, maybe you hit it. Hopefully you stayed away from one of those 2 losses or both of them. But that was our first attempt. We got close, 4 out of 6, not too shabby. But that is the long shot parlay. So we'll go ahead and turn that page and we will try once more. So let's go ahead and jump into, this is week 3 of the college football season, but it's going to be our second attempt at our long shot parlay. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. First, we are looking at Syracuse and Pittsburgh. I'm going with the first half under. So Syracuse played already. They were against North Carolina. They lost 31-6. And even though that's a bad score, it actually should have been a lot worse. North Carolina completely dominated that game. Syracuse offense was completely out of sorts. Their quarterback, DeVito, he's been around, so it's not like he's a brand new quarterback. He was 13 of 31 for 112 yards. North Carolina, they looks like they do have a pretty solid defense, but still, that is horrific numbers for a junior quarterback who, like I said, has some experience. So their offense looks really bad right now. I do expect it to improve, but I don't expect it to improve that much from 1 week. Pittsburgh also has a pretty decent defense. They played a FCS opponent last week, and they just killed them 55-0. But that's what I like to see. I like to see decent teams. If you're playing an inferior opponent, put them away. Don't even let them score. 55-0. That shows they were engaged, they were focused, they didn't want to give up a score. Their offense scored 55. Pickett's their quarterback. He's been around as well. So this is a solid Pittsburgh team. I like them to take care of business against Syracuse, but my main play here is on the under. Bad as Syracuse offense played last week, their defense did play pretty solid. They held North Carolina to 10 points all the way into the fourth quarter, and then they just couldn't hold on anymore. They gave up 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, but for most of the game, 3/4 of the game, the Syracuse defense played well. And then, like I said, Pittsburgh has a pretty good defense. So I think this is going to be a lower scoring game, at least initially, be a little bit of an early feeling out period. So I like the first half under 24.5. I like the full game under as well. And like I said, I just don't think Syracuse is going to turn it up, and neither is Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh scored 55 points last week, but like I said, that was against an FCS opponent. I don't think this Pittsburgh team is going to be one of the top offensive teams in the country. So I like this game to be under. Like I mentioned last week, I'm not going to go too much in depth in each of these games. I don't want to create an hour-long video for you guys. It's fine with me to create a very long video, but I know it's not fun watching a super long video. So I'm just gonna do some quick hitters, and we'll move it right along here. So next we have BC and Duke. I'm going with 3 first half unders, as you can see, and this will be another one. So Duke had a tough opponent. They played a very good Notre Dame team last week. They held their own. They lost by 2 touchdowns. They held Notre Dame to 27 points. This is a decent Duke defensive team. Offensively, they bring in a new quarterback, transfer from Clemson. He actually looked pretty decent early on. But like I said, it was just a tough opponent. That Notre Dame defense is really good. I think this Duke offense they'll get better as the season goes along, but it's going to take some time for them to gel a little bit. And this BC team, this is going to be their first game of the season. So any team that's playing their first game, you really don't know exactly what to expect. Like I said, the off season this year was just like no other. So how teams prepared is just completely different than anything that we're used to. So like I said, this is a huge advantage for Duke. Not only did they play last week, they played against an elite opponent. So now they're definitely taking a step down a level and playing BC. So definitely the edge goes to Duke, but we'll see if they can get their offense back in order. So I do think BC is going to get off to a sluggish start. That's why I'm going with the first half under. So I do think we can see some points in the second half by both teams. But I do think BC will get off to a sluggish start in the first half. And like I said, this Duke offense isn't humming yet. So I like this game to stay under the total in the first half. That's under 26. And our third and final first half under is going to be between South Florida and Notre Dame, who we just mentioned. So Notre Dame, like I said, they have a stout defense. I don't think they're going to give very many points up at all to the South Florida team. They do not have a good team at all. They played the Citadel and they won 27-6. Really a no doubter there, which they should crush Citadel. But you look at their quarterback play last week against Citadel. He was 11 for 16 for 68 yards. So it wasn't exactly lighting up the board. They did use all 3 quarterbacks. Another guy went 3 for 4 for 24. Another guy went 4 for 5 for 10 yards. So really low per average plays. And that was against the Citadel. So now they're playing Notre Dame. I would be surprised if South Florida scores a touchdown in this game. So really the question is, how many points is Notre Dame going to score? And early on, I don't think they're going to score a ton. I think they're going to establish the run. It's what they like to do. They do have a good quarterback. But under 26, I think that's what it's going to be. Notre Dame's offense didn't look exactly spectacular last week either against Duke. So like I said, I like this game to stay under the total. I do think Notre Dame will pull away and probably score a ton of points in this game, but I think the first half might be a little bit of a slower start. Next, we are going away from the totals and going into some sides here. And also, we have 7 plays this week. Last week, we had 6 plays. So we're going with 7 plays this week. So let's get into our first side. It's going to be our only favorite that we're taking. And we are taking Troy, who is actually on the road against Middle Tennessee State. And there is a reason why they're favored. I really like this Troy team from what I saw last year. They have a good coach. They have a lot of offensive weapons. I think this team is going to be very, very good in the Sun Belt offensively. I think they'll be one of the best offensive teams in the Sun Belt. They are bringing in a new quarterback, so that is really the only piece. So if they get some decent play, he has a lot of weapons, good running game, good receivers. So he really has no excuses. Middle Tennessee, they had to prepare for the triple offense last week, and it was bad. They lost 42-0. They could not stop the triple offense of Army, and they cannot score. Army does not have a great defense. It's a decent defense, but to not be able to put up a field goal, that says a lot about Middle Tennessee's offense. So they do have an advantage here. Like I said, they did play last week against Army. Troy has yet to play. So again, that's why I'm looking at the full game, because Troy might get off to a little bit of a slow start. But I think by halftime, they should get that offense going. I think when it's all said and done, they can win this game by at least a field goal. Did not like what I saw at all from Middle Tennessee last week offensively. Their quarterback was 7 for 10. I mean, that's not bad, 7 for 10, but 63 yards. Just Army just controlled the clock. That's what they do. They control the clock. They reduce the amount of time you have offensively. But yeah, Middle Tennessee did not like what I saw from their offense, did not like what I saw from their defense. So if they play similarly, I like Troy here to win this game. So next we are moving on to 3 underdogs, starting with North Texas at home taking on SMU. SMU we saw a couple weeks ago. They did not play last week, and they were not impressive at all. I thought they were going to crush Texas State. A very, very bad Texas State, and they barely won by a touchdown. I was expecting a lot more from SMU. Based on paper, this is a really solid team, but it just did not look like it. Again, you don't know how all the different teams prepared in the offseason, so that could be one of their excuses. So we'll see if that changes, but until I see something different, I'm going to go with the home team here in North Texas. North Texas, they crushed Houston Baptist 57-31. That's one of the reasons why I'm taking North Texas here. They have a lot of offensive weapons here. They had a really good quarterback last year, and fine, he is no longer on the team. So similarly to Troy, North Texas is bringing in a new quarterback, but he has a lot of offensive weapons around him. And like I said, they scored 57 points. It was against an FCS opponent, but it's still. But he scored 4 touchdowns in his first game, so looked pretty decent. Obviously, I think as the season goes along, he'll get better. But SMU had an off week last week, so they might be a little bit out of rhythm here. So I like North Texas here. If they can keep up with that offensive momentum. Like I said, I didn't like what I saw from SMU with their first game against a really, really bad opponent. They barely won by 7. So now you're asking them to win by 2 touchdowns on the road. I will take the points here. So we'll see what happens there. And next we are going with Louisiana Tech against Southern Mississippi. So this is a very, very interesting game. Typically, I don't want to take too many teams that haven't played a game yet, because I think it's a big disadvantage if you're playing a team that's already played. That's the case here. I am taking Louisiana Tech. Historically, the past couple years, they've been really, really good. They're usually in the top 3 of their conference. This is a division game, so this is a very, very important game for both teams. So I think we see maximum effort here. The reason why I like Louisiana Tech here, keep this game close, we have them +6. It looks like at most places it is 5.5, but I bought that half a point up to 6. Not a huge key number in college football. It's more of a key number in the NFL, where the games are more tight. In college football, not as big a deal to buy points. But this was a cheap buy, 5.5 to 6. So I will definitely do that because you never know. But Southern Mississippi, so this team played a couple weeks ago and they lost to South Alabama. South Alabama is not a good team. Southern Mississippi, I forget what the spread was, but I want to say it was probably close to 20 that they were favored to beat South Alabama by, and they lost that game 32-21. It really wasn't even close. Or I should say they never really had a chance to win it. They were down the whole game. And what did they do after the very first game of the season? They fired their coach. Like, that is crazy, especially in a year like this where the season is already reduced. It's already crazy. To fire your coach after one game says a lot. So this team is in disarray. I think if you fire a coach after the first game, it's just a lot of distraction for the team. Like I said, especially in a year like this. So even though they have an advantage and they played already, I got to go with Louisiana Tech here. I think Louisiana Tech is going to be a great team this year in the Conference USA. They're going to fight for the division title again. And like I said, Southern Mississippi, they did not look good in their first game, and then they fire their coach. I think they're in disarray here. I will grab the points here. Louisiana Tech doesn't have to win. They just have to keep it close, and I definitely think they can do that. Like I said, I think they'll get off to a sluggish start being in their first game, but I think when it's all said and done, they can find a way to keep this game close, if not win outright. And then we will go to our final game of the Longshot Parlay, the 7th game between Wake Forest and NC State. So similarly to Duke, Wake Forest has a big advantage here, and not only have they played a game already, NC State, this is their first game at home. Not going to be any fans, so it's not a big home field advantage. But Wake Forest, not only did they play last week, they played against Clemson, probably the best team in the country, one of the best defenses in the country. Obviously, they did not play great, but they did cover the spread. There was a huge spread, and Clemson did not cover. They won 37-13. Wake Forest somewhat held their own, and they take a huge step down to face an NC State team. So Wake Forest is starting a lot of new pieces defensively. So it's good. It was good for them to get their first game under their belt, and it was against Trevor Lawrence. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence pretty much had his way with them, but it was a great experience for this team for all those young guys to get that experience and to start to gel together as a defense. Also have a sophomore quarterback who has some experience prior to this year, but like I said, it was great to play against a tough defense in Clemson. So like I said, it's just going to feel so much different to play against Clemson and then to take a step down against NC State. And this is the NC State team that has yet to play, so it's just a huge advantage for Wake Forest. The line has come down. I think NC State initially was favored by 3, now it's down to 1. I'm seeing Pick'em in some places, so I think the wrong team was favored here. And I'm going to go with Wake Forest on the money line, minus 103. For our final play of the day, and it is going to pay out the Longshot Parlay 55 will pay out $5,138.58. A little bit tougher than last week. We're going with 7 plays instead of 6, but I like all of these plays. Again, these are not my best plays that I have for the week, but I like all of these. I strongly lean towards all of these. I'm going to be taking some of these games, but that is going to be this week's Longshot Parlay. So hopefully you guys enjoy that, can take something out of that. Don't necessarily recommend you throwing the Longshot Parlay unless you want to get crazy with me. But if you pluck out your favorites, maybe you can hit a smaller parlay. But that is going to do it there. And before I get into today's free play of the day, I do want to mention my website. We are off to a blazing hot start in football. Between college football and the NFL, we are killing it right now, especially in the NFL. We are off to an unbelievable, it's only been 1 week, but we are off to an unbelievable start. We even hit another play on Thursday with the Cleveland Browns. We had them in the first half -3. So we are already off to a perfect start in week 2, and we are only looking to continue that. I am loving what I'm seeing this week in the NFL as well. College football, we got some great news in college football as well. With the Big Ten, they're announcing they're coming back. Pac-12 will be right behind them. Hopefully they start around the same time, late in October. And any other conference, the Mountain West that hasn't started yet, they're all going to start here before the year ends. So we're going to get a lot more college football coming up here shortly. So not a ton. I mean, we do have a lot of college football games. but we're even going to get more. So exciting news in college football. NFL, we're about to hit the MLB playoffs soon. We're still in smack dab in the middle of the NHL and NBA playoffs. We have a lot of action going on right now. So if you're ready to join the village, if you're ready to start receiving my plays each and every day, this is the website. This is what it looks like. This is how to get there, jvillesportspicks.com. Check out the website. Check out the different links at the top of the page. I'm going to be updating. If you look at the pick histories tab, I have each sport. I have a spreadsheet for each sport, how we're doing in every single sport. I'll be updating that tonight, if not tonight, definitely by the end of this weekend. I'll have every sport updated. I usually try to do it every week. But hopefully by the end of this weekend, every single sport will be updated. So I always keep track of everything that I give out. I even take everything that I give out as well. If it's not good enough for me to play, I'm not going to be giving it out for you to play. So like I said, check out the website. That's the pick histories tab. Check out the picks, the free picks tab. If you don't see me on here making a video, I don't have time to make a video each and every day. I wish I did. Maybe I'll hire an assistant to do videos for me. Kind of switch back and forth whichever days I can't do a video, have someone else do a video for me. If you're interested, hit me up. But like I said, if you don't see me on here making a video, there'll be a free pick on the free picks tab. So bookmark that page. Check back 3 p.m. Pacific time. There should be a play up each and every day. But most importantly, in the upper right hand corner, the big blue button to join the village, hit that button. It will take you to a page which will list all the different packages that I have available. It will line them out, tell you what each one will give you, and that's it. Choose which option fits you the best. And don't forget, for the rest of this month, you can use promo code FOOTBALLISBACK25. That's all capitals, all one word. Football is back 25 for 25% off any package that I have available. And my packages are already super cheap. I make them super cheap for a reason. I'm about building your bankroll, not taking from it. And if that is not it, if the super low prices are not enough, I have the village guarantee. If I have a losing record during your time in the village, if you sign up for one of my 30-day packages, that's what I propose to you. Try me out for 30 days, see how you like it. If I have a losing record during those 30 days, guess what? You get either your money back or you can have another month free, whichever one you choose. That's what I propose. Try me out for 30 days and see how you like it. And if I have a losing record during those 30 days, guess what? You get your full money back, or you can have the next month free. It's up to you. No questions asked. If I have a losing record during your 30 days that you are a part of the village, no questions asked, you will have your money back or the next month free. The village guarantee. I will definitely make it worth your while. Like I said, we're off to a super hot start in the NFL and college football, and we've had a great season in the MLB and the NHL and the NBA, pretty much every single sport. So if you're interested in joining the village, like I said, go to jvillesportspicks.com, hit that big blue button to join the village, and you will be all set receiving plays each and every day via email. Very simple. And that is that. So let's go ahead and move on to today's free play of the day. And I'm going to do the same thing I did last week. I'm going to pick out my favorite play from the Longshot Parlay. This is actually going to be one of the plays that I'll be adding to my card. And just like last week's free play of the day that we hit with Charlotte, we are going to, I believe we are going to hit this one as well. And that's going to be Wake Forest on the money line. You can take them +1 if you want, buy a couple points to +3. But I really think Wake Forest has the advantage here. Not only have they played one game, they played a game against an elite team in Clemson. It's going to feel like a huge step down to go against NC State. I think NC State's going to get off to a slow start, being their first game. I don't think they were hitting much during the offseason. So like I said, tackling wise, defensive wise, offensive, across the board, advantage goes to Wake Forest. And I think Wake Forest is actually a better team. They have to get this quarterback up to speed. Like I said, he has minimal experience. He's a sophomore, but he had a decent game. I think he's going to continue to improve. And I think it's just going to take this NC State team some time. So if Wake Forest can get off to an early lead and kind of hold on in the second half, like I said, even though it's on the road, it's not a huge advantage for NC State. I really like this Wake Forest team to come away with the victory here. That is today's free play of the day. Wake Forest on the money line. That's going to wrap it up for college football. Stay tuned for my NFL video, which will be released here shortly, where I will have my long shot teaser. We also got off to a hot start with our long shot teaser, but we missed it, I believe, by one. But we had a lot of good winners on there. So hopefully you guys did some smaller teasers and hit those. But stay tuned for that NFL video coming here shortly. Like I said, we are on fire with the NFL. And also don't forget to follow my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/JVille Sports. Again, twitch.tv/JVille Sports, or just go to Twitch. You guys all know Twitch. In the search box, you can type in JVille Sports to find my channel. Hit that follow button. So you know whenever I do go live, you'll get that email notification letting you know, and then you can come hang out and have some fun. But other than that, that's going to wrap it up here for college football. If you guys are a part of the village, stay tuned for the rest of my college football plays. And of course, stay tuned for all of the rest of the plays as well. If you're not a part of the village, you're definitely missing out. We have a lot of different sports going on right now. So now is the perfect time to join. If you're not a part of the village, you're definitely missing out. We have a lot of sports going on right now. There is action, tons of action each and every day, and we are doing our thing. So like I said, try me out for 30 days, see how you like it. No risk. If I have a losing record during those 30 days, you can get a refund or next month free. So try me out for 30 days, see how you like it. Other than that, that is going to wrap it up. Good luck with whatever plays you guys do decide to put in, and I will see you guys soon. Good luck and stay safe.